Hey guys, it's the Super Soda Bros podcast with ya boy Caleb.
I do this every time. I'm Luke. Hi everyone.
if you're new to the podcast, I don't know why you would be, but just in case you are, we're just two brothers that talk about random stuff going on in their lives, whether it's pop culture, video games, music, cars, all sorts of different stuff. We've had a host of guests on the show, so we've brought in family members and friends over. I think this is episode was it 18? Number 18 we're on right now.
I don't know. Late teens.
Something like that. We're getting up to episode 20 pretty soon. Who's to say when the next season will be?
Never. Everything is season one.
Episode 700, season 1.
Season one. Oh gosh, I wonder what season two is going to be like.
Wasn't that like an F-face bit where they're like series 1, part 2,
Yeah.
season 1, episode 2 or whatever.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Something really janky like that. But we're not going to do anything crazy like that. It's going to be very streamlined and
Yeah.
easy to keep track of and everything. So in terms of like my life and stuff, a lot of stuff has changed since last time we recorded. We did have to take a break last week because the timing wasn't quite right, but we are back. It's been a little bit, but lots of stuff has happened since the last episode.
Yeah, I did not have COVID this time for our break.
Woo!
Yeah, I love it.
So what
That,
was
that,
what was going on with that break?
it was just I just had nothing new to talk about. It's like that week that we didn't have anything like that little stint. I could be like, yeah, we
You
Anyway,
know,
back to you, Caleb. Yeah, it was something like that. Where I said nothing really happened. It was kind of a quiet week.
well, I mean, one interesting thing did happen to you. You're sending your dog Mando off to training, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was the middle of last week.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know, Christine and I have a Doge. He's never appeared on the podcast. I think he should make a surprise appearance one of these times. Um, Let me try to find a half decent picture of him, see if it even loads up.
Okay. For those of you out there that aren't Star Wars fans, their dog Mando, he's named after the Mandalorian from the Mandalorian TV show on Disney Plus. Many of you guys know Baby Yoda. That's Mando's. Yeah, there he is. Oh, so cute.
That's Mando.
He's a little floof.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, he's named Mando after the Mandalorian. His name is not Mandalorian, it's just Mando. So right now, yep, he's right now in training down in Newmarket, which is a little bit past or around Portsmouth area because that's the most like the place with the best reviews and the place where they take care of the dogs and train them really well because some places are just super strict and they just do like, you know, kneel before me and do the thing.
Right.
Whereas this place is way more like, um, they communicate with the dogs and adapt to the dogs depending on the dog's personality and that kind of stuff. So they really get to know them. So he's doing a training because since he's an accidental COVID dog, we got him 2 or 3 months before COVID hit. He is amazing around people and stuff, but when his interactions with other dogs isn't the greatest because he never really got any like playtime with other dogs.
Yeah.
Hence because of COVID. So he gets aside from Conda, which is our parents' family dog. Aside from her, he kind of gets like defensive aggressive towards other dogs. Just because I think he's not sure what he's supposed to do around other dogs. I think he just gets in defensive state, and that's all he does.
Yeah, he gets confused because he's like, do I play? Do I attack? Are they gonna do something to me? And he just doesn't have,
Yeah,
people skills. He doesn't have people skills.
he doesn't as far as he goes, he doesn't have people skills. Yeah, but he doesn't have dog skills, so he doesn't know how to communicate with other dogs and like adapt to whatever they're doing. He doesn't know how to adapt to what they're doing, so he just gets defensive and snarls at them and stuff. So he's getting some dog training and muscle training so that we can actually go on hikes and stuff and put a little thing around his mouth just in case, because we have had times where other people don't have their dogs on leashes and they run up to Mando and he starts getting like, "Rrr," and we're like, hey, get your stupid dogs away. They're not on a leash. Our dog is not the friendliest with other dogs. Like, oh, we're so sorry. I'm like, yeah.
Like
Sure
that should
you
be
aren't.
common sense. Anytime any dog is in public, you need to have them on a
Exactly.
leash. 100%.
Unless it's like, unless you like park in a parking lot on a one-way trail that has no other cars, then sure you can get kind of lucky. But
Yeah.
like we went to places that were busy and stuff, so people should have your dogs on a leash. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he's doing that for another week or two. I don't remember exactly what the timeline is on it, but another week or two he's doing that training and stuff. So
So it's
hopefully
it's
he's better.
it's pretty intensive. Like I mean, he's there like every weekday, so they're trying to
Yeah.
cram in as much as they can.
Yeah, we drop him off Monday night, and then he gets trained throughout the day, and then he goes home with one of the trainers and stays with them, and then they bring him back to the place, and they do more training and stuff and whatnot,
Okay.
and then we pick him up Friday afternoon after work. But see, the person who's training him has been sending pictures of him to Christine, and it seems like he's having like the time of his life. Like he's like eating snacks and playing and jumping around and stuff. So I'm like, okay, he's having fun.
Oh,
That's
that's
fine.
adorable.
Yeah. So like even like when we dropped like he last week when we brought him, he was very skittish and timid and stuff because he didn't know where he was. But when he dropped him off on Monday, he like saw the person, was like, because you know how he gets excited with other people. So he started barking, whatever. And then like we give the lady the leash, and he's like, yeah, 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 spa time, spa time. I'm like, oh boy, okay, well, bye, see you, Mando, have fun.
It's like sending your kid off to kindergarten, where like the first couple times it's kind of tough, but then once they get to school, they're like, "See you, mom, dad, peace."
Get out of here, bye, gonna have fun. That's kind of how it is. I feel like it's like the same situation where it's similar like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say you guys are training for kids with a dog, but
No.
there is some level of responsibility you have to take with the dog that I feel like some of those skills can transfer over to a baby.
Yeah,
Not all, because babies are crazy.
yeah, babies are different than doggos. But like some of the like the basic overall ideas of taking care of something that needs something taken care of kind of like fall into that of like, you know, you got to make sure you're, you know, doing stuff on time or looking after them and all that.
Yeah,
Jazz.
for sure.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been also kind of weird coming home and he's not up in your face. Be like, oh, hi, how's it going? We come home and it's dead quiet. And we're like, all right, let's continue our day. Okay. Eh.
No.
Yep.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I had made a short RuneScape story video that I put on the channel. It was so RuneScape is a online medieval game that came out like 20 years ago, but there's a version of it that can still be played today. And so that video was basically just me telling a story of how I got introduced to it and where, kind of how I got back into it over COVID and everything like that. And I ended the video with saying, I've always been, a free to play basic player. I didn't have too much stuff. I've never paid for the game. And I ended it with like saying, and I won't pay for this game because I don't feel like there's a need to. But then there's the little devil on the shoulder.
Wait a second. Maybe I should.
The little voice in my head, egged on by my wife Maya, was like, "You should get membership. You really enjoyed the game. You should get it." I'm like, no, I won't. I don't want to pay all that money for that. And then she's like, no, you really should. So like, I think it was a day or two after that RuneScape story video went live, I paid for membership.
You're just like, I'm never gonna do that. 2 days later, I did it, guys.
Immediately. Well, between me recording that video and actually putting it out was like 5 or 6 days. But still, it was a very quick turnaround. Regardless,
You should have edited it on like a clip for like 10 seconds, but, like a few moments later, and just you in like a member word with member items, and then it cuts. It's like, wait a second.
I'm having fun in membership. But it's been a blast. Like it's definitely been worth it so far. There are so many different aspects of the game that you just completely miss out on if you're free to play.
Oh yeah.
Um, like I mean, as we are recording this podcast at this current moment, I am training a skill called agility.
And you're training in Varrock, right?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Because it pops up on Discord.
Oh man, that's pretty specific, isn't it?
It is. It says agility Varrock and Rune Light. I'm like, what?
Interesting. Yeah,
The
because
thing
like
is, with membership, just quick thing.
yeah,
With membership, it's like, granted, you're paying for the game. It's up definitely in the last couple years, whatever. But like, you get 90% of the game when you buy membership. Like, there's so many skills you can train. There's so many little things you can do. There's so many quests you can do. I mean, like, it's pretty, for the most part, and like in the eyes of us, we don't play games all the time. To us, membership is endless.
yeah,
Whereas if you're like settled or framed or Jimmy or whatever, they can breeze through a character in like 6 months and be done.
yeah. That's
So
why they can create all the different like varied content that they have, where they're restricted in some way, and they're able to do that. One, because it's content and they enjoy doing it, but also like they don't want to play on their main accounts forever. It gets kind of stale.
exactly, yeah.
But as like you said, we don't have as much time as they do, where that's literally their job is to create YouTube videos about RuneScape. I'm literally just, if I have a good solid chunk of time to play, I'll get a couple quests done. I'll do a little bit of training. Mostly I'm just wandering around trying to get requirements done, because looking up guides of how to do things in this game, it's like, okay, the best way to do this combat method is to go kill these creatures. But then in order to kill the creatures, you have to do like 3 quests. And those 3 quests have like 6 different skill requirements. So you're like, oh my goodness. So you got to like start at the beginning and kind of make your way up. It's just super frustrating.
Yeah, so for all those skills that you're level 1 and you kind of have to go back and start from scratch on those multiple skills.
Yeah.
What?
Thankfully, that there's a lot of like skippable type stuff. Like there's some quests where it'll jump you from level 1 to level 30 instantly. But that quest takes like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it really depends. But I've had membership for like 2 weeks or something like that, and I'm already like coming really far along. Like in terms of member skills, I have like, let's see, there's one that's 37, 27, 22, 29, 34. My agility is 39, and my farming is 49.
So what's good about not having an Iron Man locked account is that you can just buy stuff if you really needed to.
Yeah.
Whereas an Iron Man account, you're way more restricted to stuff. So if you're training farming or whatever, you can just go buy whatever you need instead of trying to farm certain things.
Well,
Um,
actually, farming is one of those things where you do have to
no,
commit the
well,
time to it.
I meant to say herb lore.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, because like farming and herb lore are kind of synonymous, where you can grow your own herbs, and then you have to like mix them together with like vials of water, and you have to add like these secondary ingredients to make a specific kind of potion. But you can just buy all that from the Grand Exchange and just stand at the bank, just
yeah.
spamming your click button, and all your potions get made. I mean, that's literally what I did for like the early levels of herb lore, because to make like a level 1 potion, it's like it's a Guam potion and an Eye of Newt. So like the total cost for the ingredients of that one potion is like 40.
Hmm.
40 per potion. And then you sell it for like 6, which isn't much, but they're like really fast levels.
Yeah.
But there's just like, such a crazy amount of content to this game, like, cuz you think when you're free to play, the best weapon you can get is a rune scimitar, and
That's it.
that's at like level 40.
That's
Uh,
and then you use that until whenever you're done.
yeah, like literally, like all the content in the game is rune scimitar is the best weapon, hands down. In membership, there's like 100 things that are
And
better than rune.
they're all better and they're all good in their own ways as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like you want to use like Thorax hammers for one thing. You want to use a dragon scimitar for another thing, or you can use the abyssal whip for another thing. It all varies on what you're actually doing and what bonuses weapons give to certain creatures and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
there's some that have like a flat like 20% damage increase against demons, like but just
yep.
demons. There's other ones that have crush attacks and special attacks and all these different kind of things. Also, I want to say Torag's hammers, nobody uses those.
Well, I'm just stating big boy hammer, big boy weapons.
I know. I'm just kind of making.
I know they suck. I'm just naming something that's not a rune scimitar.
And so looking up like the best in slot items, I'm like, cause like I really want a rune scimitar. What do I have to do? No joke. 3 quests plus 60 attack skill level.
How much is a do you have a dragon scimitar?
Yep, I literally got all the requirements done for it yesterday. And I bought one. It's like 60k, 60,000 coins. So it's something like that.
It's really good though.
Yeah. And that's going to be like the best in slot weapon for training for a long time. There's like you said, there's some ultra specific ones, but they're like millions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not quite there yet.
I know the abyssal whip is super good.
Yeah, that's like 3 or 4 million coins at this point.
Which isn't the end of the world. It's a lot, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, like if you
you just gotta do some Barrows runs first.
Well, even doing Barrows requires like 3 different quests and a whole bunch of skill requirements. Just like, oh my goodness. And then, you get better rewards if you get it done quick. But to get it done quick, you have to be really, really good. And it's just like,
The thing is that like free to play versus pay to play. Free to play is like, this is a fun little game that came out 20 years ago. Wow, this is so much fun. Just go do stuff. Have fun, guys. And memberships like, you gotta do this to do this and do this and make sure you have this to do this and this. It's like,
there's a term in the community. It's called efficiency scape, where it's all these people on the wiki just like Googling how to do things and trying to figure out what's the fastest way to do X, Y, or Z. Whereas when we were kids, not knowing too much, we're just like, I'm gonna kill these animals for 40 hours, and it's like completely poopy.
Oh yeah.
But thankfully now that we're older and we have had that experience in playing the game for free, we know like what the game offers at a certain point, the best way to do that. Like obviously for combat, it's hill giants or frogs or moss giants. Like that's it.
Giants.
If you want money while killing creatures, it's demons, and that's like basically it.
It's very simple. Whereas like the monster child that is known as RuneScape 3, there's a lot more added to it. There's a lot more added. Yeah, there's a lot more. The ugly duckling of the bunch. Since there's so much more added to it from member stuff, like they added a couple new lands and a whole bunch of new items and a whole bunch of new monsters. They're kind of like, hey guys, free to play people, buy our membership. Here's some more stuff, and people are like, eh. Yeah. Everyone just stays in old school because that's perfect.
That's where it's at. I mean, at this point, they're 2 completely different games. Like they share the same heritage, but they're just played completely differently.
Oh yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun playing members. Like my highest member skill right now is farming, level 49, and that's just because I watched like the most efficient way to get up in your levels, and I do like farm runs. Like there's specific places you have to teleport to, and I'm not super efficient at it because I'm not very good at the game. So a lot of times I have to walk really far to get to a certain patch.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to a certain farming level where I can consistently get good XP from planting trees and also doing herb lore. So I want to say I profit like 18,000 coins per herb patch, and there's like 4 herb patches I can get in like 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
But it takes time for the plants to grow, so you're only doing that loop like once every hour 15 minutes. And you're spending money to teleport to places and to pay the farmers to look after your crops, as well as like compost and stuff like that. So you're spending supplies and obviously like the seeds are pretty expensive, but at the end of the day, you're profiting. I mean, I guess if I do my herbs twice a day, I probably make like 100K.
Hmm. You
Something
get
like
your
that.
money back for sure.
Oh yeah.
Spend a little, get a lot.
E. That's why, I depleted my cash because making money as a free player really 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 hard. Like the best money making method, it's like 200,000 coins an hour and it's like super risky. Whereas with members, if you're really really good at the game, it goes upward of like 3 or 4 million an hour.
Oh yeah, big, big, big difference.
Big change, but I don't want to bore our viewers with any more RuneScape talk.
One other thing that
Yes,
you
sir.
have to eventually start, not really farming, but getting all the clue scrolls and getting all the hunting all the imps and Slayer and stuff.
So Slayer was one of the very first things that I did, because there's some Slayer masters that will give you tasks that are just really poopy. So I looked up the best one. Excuse me, the best one for my combat level, and he immediately gave me like lesser demons, werewolves, um, shades. What else? There's like a hand in the wall. So like, there's all these like really good XP creatures that gave really really good drops. Like he wanted me to kill 80 lesser demons, and there's only one lesser demon in the entire game that you can kill from a distance and pick up its
And it's
drops.
and it's in the wizard's tower.
No, 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 because you have to use the telegrab spell to grab whatever it drops. There's a place in the members content. I think it's Korend. It was added a couple years back, but there's basically a lesser demon that's upstairs in a house, and you can safe spot it from behind a door, and then when it dies, you just run over and pick up the loot and go back.
Dang.
That's the only place in the game where you don't have to telegrab lesser demon drops, unless you want to get like in like a physical fight with one of them at some place.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, Slayer is really really fun. I should probably get a new task pretty soon because I kind of miss doing that. I was gonna
That's
say,
definitely that's what I was definitely getting would get into was be like Slayer stuff and then doing all the dragon implings and all the caskets because that's like little mini stuff with like random drops and that kind of thing.
yeah, I haven't done any hunter. Like the only reason why I'm at level 9 hunter is because I there were like quest rewards for XP.
Mm.
But I literally haven't trained it whatsoever.
Imps
Um,
drop good stuff.
They do, and I've seen a bunch of imps. Like the best one I saw was a ninja impling, which is like the second highest one.
Hmm.
I don't know the level requirements to catch it, but that was the highest one I saw.
I think it's like 50 something.
Could be. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I know dragon impling is the highest.
That's 98 or 99.
Yeah. But I was gonna say I did do my first clue scroll
Ooh.
earlier today. It was an easy clue scroll, so thankfully it didn't have too high requirements to do. It was literally 3 steps. And I pulled runes and a steel skirt gold.
Hmm.
First ever one, and I mean it's
Oh,
only it's worth 4,000.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that's not terrible.
I mean it was a good drop. I'm like it was worth a lot. It wasn't like runes and bread.
Oh, true, yeah. Usually you get really crappy stuff. As soon as you get the medium clue scrolls, that's where you get rare stuff.
Yeah, there's no way I'll be able to do an elite or master scroll for a long time.
Hmm.
Like, there's absolutely no way. But
You could do mediums probably.
probably, yeah. There might be some stuff like some areas that I can't access for because of quests, but I can get them done. I can just save that clue in my bank.
Well, the
And then,
thing is that if you save a clue in your bank, no monsters will drop any.
just that rarity or all clue scrolls.
Um,
Because like if I get a medium, I won't get any more mediums, but can I still get like hards?
I don't know. I think if it knows you have a clue scroll, you won't be. Well,
I'll
what
have to.
happened is, yeah, you have to research it, but that's what happened in Swampletics, where if you have it in your inventory in any capacity, something won't drop. So that's why he was doing that 22-hour zombie clue scroll shuffle, because he was picking
Gotcha.
them up and dropping them, picking them up and dropping it, because hoping to get another one. So if you park it in the bank, nothing will spawn another one. So basically, it's like if you can't do it, just drop it, so you can just get a different one.
Okay. Because I know you can stack up the reward caskets.
Yeah, I know you can do caskets, but I don't think you can stack clues in any capacity.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's either one of each difficulty or one. I don't remember.
Okay.
Don't know.
So I was also gonna say real quick. This is the last thing I want to say before we move on, because it's been a bit, and people
Yeah.
people will get bored. But for Christmas last year, it was either your birthday or your actual Christmas gift to you. I offered to, buy you any video game you wanted. So like if you wanted something for the Switch or the Xbox or PC, whatever, I'd be like, yep, anything. Just name what it is, and I'll.
I do have a game on my mind.
Okay. I would like to hear the name of that game, but
And
but before I would like to propose to you, where technically, I might buy you a new video game, but it can also be video game related. So I can also buy you membership for RuneScape.
I don't play it. I don't have enough time to play RuneScape to enjoy it fully.
That's okay. You can play like an hour or two every other day. At night you get home from work. You can have it on your phone. Like you can play on your phone.
You play it at work. Machine's
Sure.
going. "Bah!" I'm like, oh, I got the dragon impling.
Okay, maybe
You're
not.
fired.
Not at work.
No.
But yeah, I mean, you can have it on your phone, so it's not like you don't have to log into your computer every single time.
Yeah. I mean, I do. That's basically where I play. Like 75% of the time when I play, it's on my phone, so it's not even super efficient when I do stuff.
Yeah.
So usually when I play on my phone, I'm just tapping. I'm just like they're just like doing something really simple like fishing, or just pressing on monsters and.
It would be really good for like AFK type stuff, like herb lore where you're making potions all the time. Like you're literally just clicking two buttons.
Or like agility.
Well, you can't do agility because on RuneLight, on the RuneLight app on the computer, it gives you the outline of where you're supposed to click. On mobile, you just gotta know where it is.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not. They're not invisible, but like the screen's so small you can't see
It's harder.
where the jump point is.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I just want to throw that out there in case you ever wanted to. I can get you membership.
Well, the idea that I was having was, I'm not sure if you have it or not, but like that time. So I mentioned that game Polygon to you today.
Yeah.
Well, there was a time probably 3 weeks ago. Gus and I just had like a brainstorming. We were just like searching for games and looking at games and whatnot that we could play instead of just, just CS:GO. So we're just going through stuff. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, I want to check out this game online. He's like, what? I'm like, typed it up, and it had a whole bunch of updates and a ton of positive reviews. And he was like, I thought this game sucked. I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen any gameplay on it in like 3 years. So we were thinking of getting 7 Days to Die as a multiplayer co-op game.
Ooh. That could be interesting.
Because I know that has, save points, so you can like save it and then continue it at a different time, kind of thing. So even we could like pick it up even after like a stint of a couple days or whatever.
Yeah.
And just continue where we left off. Because we've been playing that Polygon game. We're waiting for BattleBit to come out at some point, hopefully. But just trying to find something that's more co-op based with combat involved and stuff, versus just straight up like team deathmatch kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I have good news for you. I can meet you halfway there, because I already have 7 Days to Die.
What?
I got it for free from Josiah, I think, like a long time ago.
What? How'd you get it for free?
I mean, he gave it to me,
Jeez, man, come on now.
So, but I haven't played it, I think I logged in once.
You have it, but you haven't even played it, Caleb.
There's no need to. There's no need
True.
to. It hasn't grabbed me yet.
Since Gus and I are half interested in it, we might need to open that up for once since it was a gift.
That's probably pretty true. I can start a world and you guys can hop on.
But that's
Uh,
what I was thinking because I don't think it's. I think it's like $20 or something, $25, which isn't too bad.
yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, but that's what we were thinking, just so we could have something that we can start and stop kind of thing. Because it's also one of those games where you can spend like, you know, tons and tons of hours in a certain world and continue to explore it because the maps are huge and there's so much stuff to do and explore and whatnot.
Yeah.
But something kind of like survival based, that or like the forest. Although the forest never really grabbed me to begin with, because I'm just like, cool, there's naked dudes.
It's
That would,
crazy.
yeah. But some of this that looks pretty fun.
Yeah. And like you can probably have like a permadeath mode where like if you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah, but I'm not doing that. And that'll come down to like, oh, looks like Gus died. Time to delete the world. I don't want that. No. But that's what I was thinking, just because, um, like I said before, a multiplayer game that's multiplayer, not going against each other all the time. Because like you wanna have games like playing with people that are different. Like you don't want to just play the same kind of game with everyone that you play with. That way you don't, you know, change your variety up. Because what if like a certain day you're like, oh, I don't feel like playing that game, but your only other options are games that are the similar play style. So
Right.
granted, you could play a new game, but it's basically the same game. Because I'm gonna shoot that guy right there.
Yeah, I feel
Okay,
like yeah, because like with Halo Infinite, I feel like I get burned out after a while. But thankfully, they add new game modes, so it's not like just team deathmatch all the time.
that's how I felt recently. I'm just kind of burnt out with Halo. I'm kind of like meh.
Yeah.
I know that's what everyone plays and stuff, but at the same time, the content that comes out is so slow. I'm just kind of bored.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why you got to get into RuneScape membership because there's like thousands of hours you can spend.
Oh my goodness.
Am I selling it yet?
I mean, I've always wanted to, but I don't want to. It's like $13 a month.
I mean, you can buy multiple months and then you get like a small discount.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know.
like I paid for a year straight up and it was like $80. 80
That's
or
not bad.
$88.
So what's that, like $8 a month, something
Yeah,
like
like
that?
seven and a half, eight.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I could also, pay $5 for a bond and then you have 2 weeks of membership, but that might not be
No,
worth it.
that would be like, Christine, I'm not going to sleep this weekend. Okay, have fun.
You're like you.
Nothing.
She's like, what? Me?
What's going on over there?
Yeah, and you'd have to grind so long to earn your money back because like a bond is like 7 or 8 million coins right now if you want to buy it in game. So in order to be worth it, you have to, you know, really commit to it.
Yeah, that's might as well just spend the $8 a month on
Yeah,
playing the game and
yeah,
enjoy it, not just power grind it.
right, right. But yeah, that's been RuneScape. Um, there has been another little thing that happened.
What, so the
The other
last
day.
couple days that you've been seeing all these people and play bands and instruments?
Dude, it's been such a
Dude,
crazy weekend.
literally like two of my bucket list bands you saw within a week.
No, 2 days of each other.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it sound better for me.
Well, here's how you can make it even better is if you come out to visit when the bands are playing.
Or if those bands actually came to New England for once, that would be kind of cool.
Nah, that'd be too easy.
Too easy for me. Easy.
I think did I send it to you guys where In Flames is playing in Manchester, New Hampshire or something like that?
I know they're playing in Boston.
Let me see. I think I took a screenshot of it.
The thing is, like, I want to see them again, but like, if they're playing in Boston, I'd rather have another band that I know play with them. So like, even if it was a band I kind of knew, I would go see them. But I think that the tour that they're on, there's no other bands that I know.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of it, but there's someone famous that is playing near you guys.
I know it's In
Um,
Flames. I know they are. They're playing in Boston.
okay,
They might be in New Hampshire. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but
Boston's a a far drive if it's not on a Saturday night.
So, in order to tell the story of the concerts that I saw, we got to go back to the beginning. I got to tell the story before the story. So, Maya's boss gave us tickets to the opening home game of Penn State College.
Penn State College.
So it was Maya's first football game in person to watch. And
Really?
so, yeah, yeah. And so we got a hotel out there and everything. Um, we didn't tailgate at all. We just we showed up basically just in time to walk to the stadium, go through the checkpoints, and the game started in like 5 or 10 minutes after that. Like it was a really close call. But they played one of the Ohio colleges, and Penn State beat them like 46-10. So it was an absolute blowout.
With a little bit of a difference in pointage.
They had like, I think Penn State had like 3 or 4 breakaway touchdowns where like they had the ball on like the 25 or the 30 and they just ran all the way. And that happened like several times. It was bad. But it was a great time. And then we came back Sunday, and then like 5 hours later, I was leaving to go to my first concert of the weekend.
Jeez.
I went with one of my old work buddies. Him and one of his friends. We're going to a concert where it was I Prevail, Veil of Maya. No, not Veil of Maya. Pierce the Veil. Fit for a King. Yeah, that's.
How could you forget the best one? My God.
My mind went blank, dude. My mind was like,
dude. Have you even listened to the new Fit for a King songs?
Of course.
Oh, so good.
What's
so
that?
Good.
What's that one? Falling Through the Sky. It's one of the new ones.
Far from something from the outside. Oh, I don't know, but all I know is that my favorite one of my favorite Fit for a King songs is Reaper, 100%.
They played.
Yeah, Falling Through the Sky. That's right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the other side.
They played When Everything Means Nothing, which is my favorite song by them. So good.
Yeah, that's also the most popular one.
Okay. Well, for good reason. It's a great song.
That entire album, the Dark Skies Fit for a King album. We kind of talked about this, on the early podcast for favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Skies album by Fit for a King in its entirety is in my top 5 favorite metal albums of all time.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's like a perfect album where every song on it is like a banger. Like, it's
right.
So good. So, even though I just started listening to them in early 2020, it's good when it already hit my top 5 albums of all time.
Right.
Very good.
So, it was a really good show. Fit for a King was band number 2 out of 4. So, I Prevail is obviously like the headliner, but but Pierce the Veil, who I have not listened to, I don't think I knew a single song. Actually, I knew one from it's like a meme song online, but it's still really, really good.
They're pretty good.
They put on a really good show. Like I was really impressed. And then of course, I Prevail just kicked out of the park.
So good. I have not listened to their new album at all.
Their new album's really good.
I know that their album from 2018, 2019 was really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just solid all the way around. It was a good time. Unfortunately, we had bleacher seats, so we were kind of on the sides of the arena, in folding chairs that were built into the stadium. So we couldn't move around a lot or anything. And the mosh pit had dozens of people in it. There was 400 people down there.
Dude, we had, granted that the it's called the Schnoo. It's SNHU.
Schnoo.
Schnoo.
What's Schnoo with you?
Stadium. What's Schnoo with you, man? The Schnoo Stadium in Manchester, New Hampshire. That's where we saw. Granted, we had, for it being a stadium, no matter what ticket you buy, it's going to be a good seat because it's still kind of small. But being in a seat for Slipknot was the worst thing ever. All I wanted to do was mosh. I'm like, I can't move anywhere, and there's a railing right in front of me. If I move too much, I'll fall. So when we were there, we're like, next time going in the pit and rushing to the front row. We're staying like kind of in the back of it, just so we could actually move and not be like confined to our little spot.
Yeah, it's the same thing with us. Where
I know, yeah. So I know how you feel.
Yeah, it just feels bad because like the entire time I was saying to my friend, I'm like, oh, we should have gotten floor tickets, and he's like, yeah, I made that mistake. Next time we see anybody here, we're definitely getting floor tickets. I'm like, yes, let's go.
You might as well spend the extra, whatever it is, to fully enjoy the concert.
Yeah, and it was wild down there. Like every song from every band had a mosh pit, basically. I mean, there was a couple slow songs from a couple of the bands. So obviously it was very calm, but like, 90% of the time everyone's going. Roar!
You gotta cool everyone down, and then back into it.
Did I send you that video of them making the wall and charging toward each other?
I don't think so.
I'll have to look that up and text it to you. It was crazy.
Slipknot has this iconic part in one of their songs called "Spit It Out," where the song kind of like slows down a little bit, but he like has everyone like, okay, everyone get on the ground, so everyone kind of goes down. He's like, I want everyone jumping in the air when we get, well, whatever. But like everyone like goes down, everyone gets like sitting on the floor pretty much, and then once Corey Taylor started jumping, literally the entire crowd went, whoa, 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 whoa. Like thousands of people were all in unison jumping. I'm like, dang, that is really cool to see from up here. There were no wall of deaths. There were definitely mosh pits. There were multiple mosh pits going on, which was pretty sick to see. Like being in bleacher seats was kind of cool for that aspect to see what really happens down there. But thankfully, Slipknot does not do wall of deaths or anything like that anymore.
Gotcha. Anymore.
Anymore. Emphasis on the anymore.
They've grown up.
There was one band where I saw like it was like the best moshes of all time or whatever. And no joke, it was like 5,000 people in a wall of death. I'm like, it was like a drone footage of like a wall of death. I'm like, geez, that's like a battlefield down there.
That's how you die,
Yeah, no thanks. I won't do one. I'll never do a wall of death, but I'll go in a mosh pit or like a small-ish circle pit.
Yeah.
But wall of death, nope. I know my boundary.
I haven't done one. I think it's like a good one-time experience.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because nobody's nobody's like sprinting at each other. They're just kind of like, I mean, some people sprint, but I mean, like, how I would do it is I would like trot, gallop toward them.
Yeah, and then like everyone gets kind of like smush in the middle, and then it relaxes.
Mm-hmm.
But
that'd be a good time.
Fun. Yeah.
So that whole night was really, really fun. And then, as of recording this yesterday, Maya and I went to go see a little old band that is pretty small called Demon Hunter. And Luke is taking off his headphones and just sitting there in pain. Oh, and now he's vibrating. He's having a convulsion.
I'm sorry. I'm just extremely jealous.
You're shaking with rage.
I would just like to point out that they are my ultimate bucket list band.
Yes. No, and 100% for me too. Like, because they don't play in the East. So
because they're based in like Seattle or something, so
something
Oregon,
like that.
Somewhere in that region. So they don't come out to the complete other side of the US. Although In Flames comes to New England all the time because their very first show out of Sweden was in Boston.
Oh, cool.
It was either Boston or Worcester, but it was in Massachusetts. Their first show in the U.S. was in Massachusetts. So, like, this is like our... Because, like, the time we saw them in 2019, they're like, this is our good old stomping grounds. We played our first concert around here. I'm like, let's go.
So I have a little bit of trivia for you. I didn't know this until they talked about it. But, Demon Hunter has been around for, like, 20 years. I mean, their tour right now is called 20 Years in Exile, and their new album's called Exile.
No.
So they play a bunch of old stuff, bunch of new stuff, a lot of stuff in the middle. And this is the first tour that they've had since COVID. Like they stopped touring in 2019, and then COVID happened and they stopped playing for 2.5 years. So we were show number 4 out of the entire tour that they're doing this year.
Dang.
So still pretty early on and everything. They're touring with another band called Opponent, and they're very new and upcoming, but they sound amazing. So I would say go check out Opponent on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you get your music. They're really chill guys.
I go on MySpace.
I mean, everybody does, right? That's where all the kids are. But a piece of trivia is the very first show that. Okay, so we saw them at a place called Jurgles, which is kind of like a bar tap room type of place where they have like a stage with like a floor area, but it's like there's tables everywhere. There's a bar literally 20 or 30 feet from the stage. So if you want to sit at the bar and watch any show, you can. You're very chill, very relaxed. So the place is called Jurgles. Demon Hunter's first ever concert, their first ever show, was at Jurgles in 2002.
At that place?
Yeah. Exact place.
No way.
Yeah, I'm like, holy cow, what are the odds?
That's cool. That's kind of like the same thing with like In Flames.
Yeah, where like Boston is their quote-unquote American home.
Yeah. Dang.
That's
really cool.
It was really, really cool. And then because like Jurgles is a tap room, so the actual standing area is very small. So you can have a great place in no matter where you are. If you're at the back, you can see everything. If you're at the front, you can see everything. Like there's no barrier between where you can stand on the floor and the stage.
So it's just stage floor.
You can literally put your hands on the stage if you wanted to.
Oh, it was like the Mercy Street in Soulfest?
Yeah, no, it was exactly like that. Like imagine that. That's what the venue was at Jurgles.
And we saw War of Ages in that. That was a great time.
That was a blast. War of Ages is they are based out of Erie, Pennsylvania, literally an hour north of us.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is that close to Lake Erie?
No, it's quite far.
Oh, I see.
Yes. And so Maya and I were pretty close. We were like 3 or 4 rows of people back, which is basically right on top of them for any other concert. But and then they were giving out like printout papers of their set list. So Maya ended up, reaching her hand out toward the stage because I think the bassist was passing them out, and she's like, "Please give it to me." And so she got a piece of paper which shows their set list for the entire tour throughout the year. So it was just really, really epic.
Dang.
And then there were some mosh pits happening. Like, it was very quiet for like half of the set. We got through like 6 or 7 songs, nothing happened. And then I forget what song it was that it broke out on.
Collapsing, maybe?
Let me see. Come on, photo.
The last one alive, fading away.
I think it was Recuse Myself.
Recuse?
Yeah.
Rescue?
No, Recuse. Recuse.
It's probably supposed to be rescue.
No, it's not.
Recuse?
Yeah, because like the song is like, I recuse myself. I think it's like to withdraw or to take back from. It's off of their album in 2015 or 16. I think, or I don't know, somewhere around there.
I don't think so. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
It's a pretty good song. It's not one I would have personally chosen to play live, but there was a mosh pit happen, and then at the end of the song, the lead singer Ryan Clark was like, "I see you guys have some energy," and we're like, "Yeah!"
It's like, let's go.
And then there was like 3 other songs after that we moshed to, and
dang.
Maya was pretty, hesitant and cautious of everything because it's crazy. And the last mosh pit she was in years back, she got like punched in the boobs.
Ow.
So, yeah, pretty painful. So obviously she was very, very cautious. But there was a certain point when, she got nudged into it because she was on the edge anyway. I was in the mosh pits the whole time, but she got like nudged into it on like the 3rd one or something like that.
You're like moshing it, and Maya's next to you, and you're like, what are you doing here?
She just accepted it, and so she's like just bulldozing through people.
Going
and then
with it.
I got pushed to the outside. Like I stumbled from one side to the other because someone pushed me so hard and I couldn't catch my footing. So I went through the mosh pit, like through the middle,
Dang.
and I like, poof, I flew back on the other side of it, and these guys blocked me and everything. I'm like, oh geez, and then Maya gets pushed toward me, and then I'm like, I push her back in.
Bye.
And she did it, and her subconscious was like, there's no way Caleb did that because he wouldn't do such a thing to me. So I told her afterward, we were walking outside like to the car, I'm like, I pushed you back in the pit. She's like, I thought that was you, but like I couldn't believe it.
That's hilarious. That's so fun. It's like, bye, Maya. Woo.
Yeet.
Was having fun. Well, did she enjoy it at least?
Oh, she had a blast. Like in the mosh pit, out of the mosh pit, everything. Like her neck is sore even until today from headbanging so much. Because like she's not one to enjoy listening to metal music, like on the radio or in the car or whatever. But for her, it's a completely different vibe if you see it live.
Oh yeah,
like she was having a blast with Opponent, with all the Demon Hunter songs, and she knew a couple Demon Hunter songs, but for all the other ones that were still heavy and everything, she was still going crazy. So it was definitely a really really good experience for her.
That's good.
And for me too.
Oh yeah, obviously it's Demon Hunter. Like even if they played just like slow songs, I'd still love it.
Yeah, they did they did a lot of slow songs. They did
I Am a Stone.
Yeah, I'm a Stone.
Huge one.
Dead Flowers. Yeah. I think I Will Fail You is pretty slow.
That's another really good one.
And they also played Jesus Wept, and I think
that one's a crazy one.
That's the one. That's one of the ones we mosh to.
Oh yeah, that's a hard mosh.
When Jesus wept, and then we're going.
Honestly, that's one of the songs when I listened to it the very first time, I'm like, this is 100% a mosh pit song. Like this is heavy. It's just. It's like, oh, whoa.
Can confirm we did indeed mosh.
Man, that's my dream.
Such a good show, man.
Mosh to Demon Hunter.
And then after the show, I don't know how. I think it's because Maya had gotten the list of the songs. Someone had talked to her about something, and basically everyone that we kind of chatted with at the show had some sort of Demon Hunter tattoo. So I thought that was really really cool.
Well, they're Demon Hunter is one of those bands, like they have such a great art design for their albums and stuff to begin with, that people like to interpret it and like change it and stuff. So like they can like have like any sort of that styling for tattoo, and it's like perfect.
And
it's
even
like,
if they want to get like, because like there's the iconic demon head, but there's so many variations of that head that you can go crazy with it. I mean, even
like build off it as well.
Right? Yeah, to do their own thing. But even with Christine, she got a Demon Hunter tattoo, where you would have no idea it's Demon Hunter related unless like she's like, oh yeah, this is a lyric from this song.
Yep.
So that's also really cool. There was a lot of people there with those kinds of tattoos. And then the very last couple we talked to before we headed out, it was after the show. Everyone's kind of filtering out. It was an like middle-aged couple, like maybe late 30s, mid 40s, something like that. We were just talking about the band and everything like that, because they lived up near Erie as well, so they had quite a drive down. But apparently the guy started a YouTube channel in early 2020 over the course of the pandemic with, I think he said either like his brother or his friend. And basically what he was trying to do is every show he went to, or as many shows as he could, he wanted to interview the bands just to get their ideas on like their latest record or what's their process for writing music. And so he's interviewed a bunch of bands over the last 2 years, and he's got a pretty successful channel. I'll link it down below if you want to check it out. But he told us about this band. I think it's called The Wanted, or The Wasted, something like that. It's a trio of Mexican sisters, and they kind of have like a hard rock, like gold, frankincense, and myrrh type. I
was about to say it's like gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Who? Hey, Christine. Were gold, frankincense, and myrrh at Soulfest this year? Didn't someone see them? Wasn't it Naomi or Ruth? Yeah, it was Quinn. All right, thanks. So gold, frankincense, and myrrh were at Soulfest this year, and I didn't know it. So Naomi and Quinn came back from seeing them, and they're like, "We saw these like three like girls like playing metal music, and they were like totally like dressed up. It was really cool." I'm like, "Wait, what?" They're like, "Oh, it's these people." I'm like, "Oh, it's gold, frankincense, and myrrh." And they're like, "You know them?" I'm like, "I think Caleb saw them once a while ago."
Yeah, I saw them the very first time they were at Soulfest years
Yeah.
back.
But I'm like,
But
"That's kind of cool."
this guy I was talking to at the Demon Hunter show, he's interviewed them a bunch of times, and they're actually like they're on really good terms with each other, and they're like friends, quote unquote. So he's telling me about all this and like all the bands that he interviewed, and just talking about other random stuff. And then he's like, "Is that the letter Black?" And he looks behind us, like toward the door, and the entire band from the letter Black was at the Demon Hunter show, literally 20 feet away.
Were they watching the Demon Hunter?
Yeah.
What?
So I'm like, what? And he had interviewed them before, so like he knew all of them by name. So he went up, he's like, "Hey guys," and they're like, "Hey, what's up? What's up, man?" And like I haven't listened to a lot of that band. I just know like one or two songs from
Yeah,
like
same.
a while back. But I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So I'm just standing there in awe. I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know anything, but I'm just gonna take in the moment.
Yeah, you're like, wow, that's a pretty cool thing that's happening right there.
Yeah, it was just wild, man. It was a wild
Dang.
show.
I want to go
Fun
see another
times.
show. I feel like seeing one concert a year isn't enough.
I don't even know the last time I saw a concert. Like if you said what was the last show you went to, it would have to be like Soulfest 2018. But I know that's not right.
No, you went in 2019.
Who did I see? No, no, in 2019 to Soulfest?
Hmm. That was the last year, I think.
I mean, it would have to be because then I
Didn't you
moved
see
here.
Starset like this year?
No, I was gonna.
Oh, it
But
wasn't. Oh, it wasn't it Under Oath. Who was it?
I saw Under Oath in 2018.
I thought that was this year. There's someone you saw this year. Wait, in a bar and stuff.
Oh, Red. Yeah.
Red. Yeah.
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 So yeah, that was back in February.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
And the guy I was talking to at the YouTube channel, he was at that same show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, the Red concert at the Craft House in February. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I was there too,
That's funny.
man. So, but yeah, that was a good show too. Same kind of venue, like very small. There's a bar with tables. Um, you know, but the only issue was the premium tickets were the only ones that could go out onto the floor. All the casual ticket buyers had to be back at the bar. So it was
Lame.
pretty far away, kind of lame.
Yeah.
But before that, so that's true. Thank you for catching me. Before Red, I don't know what my last one was.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me. It was like a big stint of time where there was just nothing. Like I didn't see anyone. So, because like seeing no one for, well, actually, hold on. In 2019, we went Soulfest, and I saw In Flames and Red with Christine. 2020 was obviously no one. 2021, we saw War of Ages at Soulfest, and that was it.
Was this your Slipknot?
This year was Cypress Hill, Slipknot, and then also Skillet.
Hmm.
And Skillet. That's the only people at Soulfest.
E.
Sad. But yeah, this year was definitely a good year. I saw, obviously, it's always good to see Skillet, although the last two albums have been, but seeing Slipknot was one of those other bands where, Slipknot was one of those other bands where it's a bucket list where I have to see them.
Hmm.
So good. Such a good concert. Like, just like the show they presented and stuff, like how they did it, was so well done.
I'm trying to think what bands are still on my bucket list because I don't have it written down. They're just kind of mental. Demon Hunter was definitely number one. Like even before I saw Under Oath for the first time, Demon Hunter was still number one in my mind.
Yeah.
But I'd say my number one right now would have to be August Burns Red.
August Burns Red's on my list. Fit for a King, Demon Hunter. I really want to see As I Lay Dying, but there's some band stuff going on, so I'm not sure if they're gonna be playing too much longer.
Okay.
Um,
He didn't kill. He didn't hire another assassin, did he?
no.
Okay. Good.
No.
Yeeks.
Yeah, big yikes. And there was one, although their latest album that came out in like 2019 or whatever was really good,
Yeah.
really good album. There was one other band. I'll probably think of it when I go to bed. I'll be like,
You,
oh yeah, it's that one.
you have yet to see Under Oath, right?
I have not.
Have you seen The Devil Wears Prada?
No.
Oh, bro.
They had a lot of band changes and change in sound in the last like 5 years.
Oh
So
yeah.
I wouldn't even consider the last album or two to be true Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, they had two albums in the mid 2010s that were just really poopy.
Hmm.
The last one they had that came in 2019, The Act, that one's okay. It just has a really different sound, but it's
It's completely different than what Devil Wears Prada actually is. Because
completely, yeah.
when I play like although their last couple of songs that came out this year or something, those have been really good.
Yes.
Sacrifice. There's one like Salt and something or something. I can't remember. But those
Salt, and
songs are
there's another one called Time.
yeah, those are really good. But like
Yeah.
when I played Chemical and showed it to Christina, and she showed me because like it was a time where like she forgot I showed it to her or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh yeah, it's Devil's Prada, and she's like, yeah, they're really good. I'm like, here's what they actually sound like, and I showed her like Reptar King of the Ozone and all that good stuff,
Mhm.
and she was like, this is the same band. I'm like, yeah, this is the same band. So good.
Back in the day. Have
Yeah,
you listened to the Dead Throne album all the way through?
not all the way through.
It's one of those ones where it is worth it to listen to start to finish.
Heard all the songs, but I never sat down and listened to start to finish.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not a one sitting kind of thing. Just as long as you can get through the whole thing in like a day or 3 days, definitely worth it.
But
That's their best
yeah,
album for me.
but you have to admit that when you can listen to an album from a band from start to finish and you're okay with it and okay with doing it again, that's when you know they nailed each song and in flow as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So like there's a couple bands out there where like they have an album and you can just press play song one and listen to it for an hour and you're like, that was good. That was cool. Like
That's
especially like
how.
yeah, especially playing RuneScape.
Oh yeah, just have it be in the background. That's how I feel with the Eternal Blue album by Spirit Box. It came out in 2021. That album is solid front to back. There's like one song that's kind of iffy. Actually, no, there's two songs that are iffy that I sometimes skip. But in terms of like album composition, Eternal Blue is really, really good.
Hmm.
So that's another one I got to show you. There is a band I'm listening to right now called Idle Threat. They just got signed on by Tooth and Nail Records. So they just put out their first like actual full length album last year. That's a good album all the way through. Luke, it's the spiritual successor. Like what what if I don't know why I'm blanking. I'm so
Her mom.
what's the band that sings Wind Chaser in Lazarus?
Exiting the Fall.
Exiting the Fall. They're a spiritual successor of Exiting the Fall and the other band,
Valley Heart.
Valley Heart.
That's another one. That's another okay. Other more on my bucket list. I really want to see Corn just because of because they're iconic. And Valley Heart. Valley Heart has been on my list before they were called Valley Heart.
Yes.
They played in Boston, Salem area 3 times in the last 2 years,
Oh
and
wow.
we've been busy every single weekend that they play. And one of them was hey guys, we're playing at this shop we're opening for our album, like we're playing our album front to back. Come get a coffee and we'll play the entire album. I'm like,
Oh, that would have been it.
Bryant was there with his girlfriend.
Oh my goodness.
I imagine going there and bumping into Bryant and be like, dude, what? He's like, what?
There's like 15 people, and it's just like, oh shoot.
It was small. There was probably like 30 people tops.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a
That would
little
be so good.
bar coffee shop atmosphere. I'm like, man, I wish we could have gone to that. But I think that was the weekend we went way up to Maine.
Yeah, but
But
but I would say Idle Threat is the combination. I mean, literally, Valley Heart came from Exiting the Fall, but Idle Threat is a combination of those two bands if they progressed
so it's
to
like
the
a
modern
level up.
to the modern day.
Hmm.
but really, really good.
Although
Yeah,
Valley Heart's new album, they've definitely like I wouldn't say upgraded their sound, but you can tell they invested more time and money into it.
yeah. There's a lot like more production with crafting how it sounds and everything.
Although their Everyone I Ever Loved album was super good, but this last album you could tell like okay they spent time, you know, in the music booth doing their thing and doing the little magic and stuff.
Yeah.
But
So I'll have to make you a playlist of like the 4 songs I like off of the Idle Threat album, just to give you a taste of like, okay, it's like song number 1 on that playlist is going to be the perfect exiting the fall Valley Heart combo. Like you will understand the sound, and then the other songs are just bangers.
speaking of songs that have if you've listened to, did you ever listen to the Attack Attack songs that I sent you like a couple months ago?
I listened to that whole album.
The new ones that came out?
Yeah, where it's like Fade with Me,
Okay, yeah, I was about to
all
say I'm
all that
like
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I listened to the whole album. The whole album's really, really, really,
It's
really great.
it's like 4 or 5 songs, but it's like it definitely brings back their similar sound to when they made in like 2012.
They actually played like a couple weeks after Red. Like when we saw Red back in February. I think
Mhm.
Attack Attack was going to play at that same place in March.
Really?
Yeah, it just didn't. It just didn't end up working. That I could go to that. But yeah, fun times. It's busy weekend. A lot of high energy stuff happening. So hopefully we kind of have some time to rest and recuperate because we're in between all of this action. Maya and I are both working. We have full-time adult jobs that we're trying to survive at. It's just hard. What you looking up?
November 19th.
What's in November? You must tell me, sir.
I Prevail, Pierce the Veil, Fit for a King, Boston.
I mean, it's the same tour. You got to go to
Same
that.
tour. I might go to that.
When you say that was November,
November 19th. It's on a Saturday.
that's the one to go to.
I might go to that.
Honestly, like really, really good show. Like they played bangers all the way through.
I don't know a whole lot of I Prevail's new stuff, so I'll probably just be rocking out to that in general.
Yeah,
But Fit for a King, I'd know them all.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
Spotify. Okay, quick thing. Spotify is really nice where you can just scroll under an artist, and it'll show if they're playing, and then if you press on what they're playing around, it'll just go to your other bands and be like, "Hey, these guys are playing around you." You can just tap on whoever and see who's playing around you.
okay.
I need to start doing that more on Spotify so I'm up to date on who's playing kind of close.
Mhm. Me too, because I only saw the Demon Hunter tour because of an ad on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh shoot, what if I had missed that?"
Imagine like that's happened before, like the day after a concert, and you're like, I, uh, I missed that.
That's how I missed Starset and Spirit Box earlier this year because I was like too late to like get tickets. I'm like, "Oh shoot, the date came up faster than I thought. They played
Yep.
last week."
Yep. That's happened to me before. I don't remember what band it was, but it was. Oh my, it was Corn.
Bro.
Last year. It was Corn. They played at Guilford It was an outdoor concert, which is sick. It was Corn and some other band, and you can buy a lawn chair ticket for $10, and I didn't go.
Bro, no.
I should have just paid it and just went and just buy my. So just sat down, have some snacks, and just watch. I didn't know any.
Bro, think about it. It's either that or like a Starbucks trip.
Yeah, I know. I was dumb. That was a big, stupid move on my part. I should have just gone to that.
What a
Mistakes
shame.
were made.
Yeah,
Rip.
but now you know for next time is to like get in on that. Same thing with Valley Heart. I mean, you were busy, but
But with Valley Heart, Valley Heart's now like one of those things. Like if they're playing in northern Boston, we're gonna go see them because they had a show in. I don't remember what town it was, but it was like just north of Rhode Island. I'm like, I don't want to drive like 3 hours to go see them and then drive all the way back. So at that point, it's like you
yeah,
just go down to Connecticut for the weekend, and that's a whole nother thing. And I don't
Yeah.
know if I wouldn't drive that far to go see Valley Heart, but because since they're based in northern Boston, it's not like they're going anywhere anytime soon. But I
Yeah,
want
but
to see.
they'll be around.
Yeah, I want to see them. They're definitely, they're going to be around quite a bit longer since they've expanded and grown in popularity a lot more than Exiting the Fall ever could. Because I think Exiting the Fall had only 1 or 2 thousand followers, whereas Valley Heart has like more.
Which is a shame because Eskin the Fall was a really good band.
Really good, like what'd you class like alternative metal or something, where it has like random. I don't know how to describe it.
Maybe it's like new metal, like kind of like not like Slipknot.
No.
What would you compare them to?
Oh, it's what is the term? It's not melody. It's like mellow
Melodic metal.
melodic metal. Melodic metal. That's what they're classified under.
Okay. Which is interesting because they were pretty heavy. I wouldn't necessarily label them as melodic, but they
Well,
did
that's
have a
'cause
lot. They did have a lot of light vocals.
yeah, a lot of instrumental, slow, like you're heavy, 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 and then Kevin would go like calm it all down, and it would go back into like heavy stuff. So it like kind of took you out of it,
Gotcha.
kind of sort of.
Yeah, I wish they're still around. Thank goodness we saw them like in their prime back
Oh
in the
yeah, we
day.
saw them right before they disbanded.
It was 2015.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Such sadness.
Because we saw them that one time in 2013. We're like, this band is awesome, and then we bought all their stuff, listened to them. Next year they played, and then like 6 months later, 8 months later, like, yeah, we're not playing anymore together. I'm like, what the?
That reminds me. I'm so glad that we saw For Today before they disbanded because
Oh
we
yeah,
saw them on their last year and we're like, oh, thank goodness.
that was such a the For Today War of Ages concert was so good.
Yeah, I
good.
saw For Today right when they had a new album out. I forget which one it was, but it was the album after Breaker, and Breaker is like their best album. It came out in 2010.
Yeah, Breaker and Fight the Silence are their best albums.
Yeah. So I saw them in 2013, and then we saw them again in 20. It was 2015 also that we saw them. I feel like.
I think so. I think that was the last like it was 2015 or 2016. Those are the last like perfect. Those were the last golden years of Soulfest
Yeah. Yeah.
before they went like.
Explosion.
Did I tell you that my old roommate Evan was at that concert?
The For Today one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yep. He lives in Rochester, so his family used to go to Soulfest, and I told him that I went to go see War of Ages. I told him about Soulfest, and he's like, "Oh, I've been there." I'm like, "Yeah, I saw For Today and War of Ages." He's like, "You saw War of Ages and For Today?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I was there in the mosh pit." I'm like, "No way, dude."
Yo.
Super funny. Super funny.
Awesome. It's
But
funny how life happens, you know.
Yeah, but he's a big August Burns Red fan.
Has
Which
he
is
seen
kinda
them?
cool.
Has he seen them live?
I think he has, because they're Massachusetts based.
Yeah.
But there was one time where I think we were going to like, I don't know, going to get like something at the store or whatever. And he was like, "You listen to August Burns Red, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You gotta listen to this old song. It's so good." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Oh, it was off the album before, was it Messengers?
Rescue and
The one-
Restore.
No, the album that had Whitewatched and Crusades.
Constellations.
Yeah, the album before that.
Okay.
There's a song off that album that he showed me that was really good. I'm like, this is pretty dang good. I'm like, Constellations was the first album that I really started listening to. It's like, yeah, that one's good too.
Yeah.
It's funny, small world.
Right. Man, good times. Now I'm all pumped up to go to another show and start punching people in the faces. Brow, brow, brow.
Your face is my target.
Let's go. Oh my goodness. Fun times.
Fun.
Thank goodness, like everything, like bands are starting to tour again, and
yeah.
you know, I mean, you live in the Northeast East, so you do have kind of like a perfect balance of like if someone comes to like Boston or New Hampshire, you can get there pretty easily.
Yeah. We have 4 spots. We've got, so it's like us. I can't do it like this, but we've got us in New Hampshire. If we drive north, we have the Guilford Amphitheater. If we drive south, we have Manchester. If we drive more south, we have Boston. Or if we drive east, we have Portland, Maine. So we have 4 decent places that get bands.
Yeah.
So even still, like if someone comes to New England, there's a good chance we'll get them.
I mean, for us, I mean, obviously Pittsburgh is like where a lot of bands will just automatically choose to go to. But
Oh yeah.
in case they don't, we can always go to like Cleveland, Ohio. That's basically it for this side. It's
Hartford,
like Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Hartford, Connecticut gets a ton at the XL Center. So even if there was someone there that like I've been dying to see, we just go visit family, go see the band, and then go back to Connecticut, go back to family and visit with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So New England's a decent spot, but there's always that one band that rhymes with Demon Hunter that doesn't show up.
Rhymes with it, huh? What would it be?
Ryan, what's his name? Ryan Clark. Like if he, like I'm just telling you right now, dude.
Cyan. His name is Cyan Rark.
Oh yeah, okay. But like, I'm calling you out big time. I know you never hear from me, but I'm calling you out big time.
I can't say anything negative about Demon Hunter or Opponent because they reposted me and Maya's pictures from the event. So
they liked and retweeted something Christine's tattoo.
I did see that. Yeah, so cool.
No hard grudges, but you know, mild grudges.
Mild grudges.
Mild.
Just a little bit. Are you gonna kill me in my sleep or something?
No, just poison.
No, not poison.
Poison's a pretty good band, right?
Yeah. I haven't heard any of their stuff, so I couldn't tell you either.
It's 80s hair metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that time.
It's about time to wrap things up for the night, and it's been a while since our last episode, but I'm glad we could come back after not being able to talk about anything for a while because literally nothing happened, to spending a wicked long time just catching up on life.
Yeah. And next time we'll have a guest. Question is who?
Who will it be? Will it be the great, the mysterious, the beautiful Maya? Will it be the mysterious and cunning Christine?
No, she's beautiful too.
Or will it be the sensuous, attractive, daring man known as Gus?
Or will it be Jacob or Josiah?
That's true. I mean, but they said they don't really want to get on because, like, we won't be good for a podcast. I'm like, we just talk about random stuff.
It's literally gaming, but not playing games.
Yeah. It's if you're just, it's as if you're in the same room talking.
It's fine. It's fine. They can be lame. They're not going to listen to this. They can be lame.
Yeah. I don't care. I'm not hurt at all.
Not at all. My feelings aren't hurt.
No.
I quite honestly do not care.
Zero cares. None.
Zilch noodle.
Nope, nada. Is there anything else you want to say before we take it out? Anything coming up soon?
These nuts.
Oh, and I will be looking forward to that.
No thanks. Hard pass. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
No.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, but it's going to be by the time this comes out on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, just a semi-quiet weekend. Christine's in a charity softball tournament, and then I'm going to go explore another mountain and do some more biking. So it'll be fun little weekend, and then Sunday we have no plan.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can talk about that in next episode in case something crazy happens. You might meet Demon Hunter while you're mountain biking.
Or since it's so far north in New Hampshire, I might find some hunters who are finding demons.
Or they think they're hunting demons, and in reality it's like...
Squirrels. They're eating my potatoes!
At best, squirrels. At worst, actual literal demons.
It's northern New Hampshire after all. There's a lot going on. Oh,
All
no.
right, Luke, take us out. I gotta go clean up some food. I don't know the food. I don't know what it could be.
Oh no. Do you smell bacon? Record.
Record Audacity. Bada bing boom bam.
Bam. Boom.
Are you recording too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then let's do the intro real quick. Whenever you're ready, I will begin and we'll launch into it.
There we go.
Okay. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. I don't like that look on your face.
You didn't like that?
No.
I'll do it again.